Hi guys, it's Stuart from the Film Reelcast. You're about to listen to episode 4 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's our audio podcast that is no video. But a really good episode, another solid one with so much to talk about. I hope you enjoy this and thanks for listening.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's Johnny.
Hello, God! Say hello to my little friend! Oh, anybody home? Think, McFly. Think. I feel the need for speed.
And welcome back to the Film Reelcast. I'm Stuart, your host. I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the wonderful Neil. How are you doing?
I'm very well, Stu, very well. How are you?
I'm really well. I'm buzzed just like you. And it's Saturday means just one thing, that it's our review of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And this is episode 4 called The World, or The Whole World is Watching. And you watched this before I did, and you messaged me and said you were just fucking majorly hyped for it, weren't you?
Mate, I said you're in for a treat, and it blew me away. Absolutely blew me away.
So good. Yeah, I couldn't wait to get home from work and just to put it on. The first thing I did was put this on, and I was just buzzing. I didn't even know what was going to happen, and just the fact that it's episode 4 and there's 6 and something's got to happen, and you just wonder what's got to give in this episode, being the one we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I did not see it coming.
Start things to happen. No, it's, man, talk about pushing limits in this, going from WandaVision, which is, it's so nice to get WandaVision, which is completely different to this, that it's lovely that it's something different. And at the moment, WandaVision I loved, but this is just, it just grips me, you know what I mean? The action, the pace, and the step up they've taken with regards to the level of violence for a Disney Plus series just surprised me.
It's a really gritty Marvel, isn't it? It's not got any sort of lovey-dovey crap in it, really. It's proper gritty, hardcore stuff.
Yeah, and they're tackling messages that they've never tackled before, like the political agendas and like the racism, which I think they've done really well. The way they subtly brought it into this with Sarah, I thought was great, which obviously we'll talk about later on. But just the start of it, when it goes back 6 years into Wakanda with Bucky.
What a callback.
Oh, man, and Ao is
is
just nailing it here. And Sebastian Stan, Bucky, when he's sitting there by that fire and they're talking, going through the spells to break that Winter Soldier kind of trance that he has, is so powerful. To see him crying there is so good. I mean, it had me, you know what I mean? Because
it was
the
so
flashbacks to the
believable,
murders. Yeah, you got Stark's parents. It just went through everything, and the guilt and the offload from him, just him crying because I didn't expect it. And it was great because I didn't know how they managed to unlock it and who did it.
Yeah, definitely. It just goes to show, you know, excuse me, how powerful they are. The fact that they were able to break that curse that he was under to stop him being the Winter Soldier. It was amazing. It was just so well done, and the acting from him in it was fantastic.
Yeah, to get the call back from, I especially liked when they showed, not in a weird way, but Stark's parents being killed, because obviously that in the Civil War was a really big catalyst for what happened, and it's just great. And Ao just looks amazing. I love the Wakandan outfits.
Yeah,
and it's just so good. I didn't expect this from the start, you know.
No,
and
it just jumped into it, didn't it? It was just bang, straight on the nose.
Yeah, and it really it just blew me away. But I mean, it goes back into Latvia where Ao gives Bucky 8 hours, and I love the disdain in her face
Yeah,
about Zemo being free. It's she's so full of honor, isn't she? You know,
yeah,
about T'Challa dying, and the fact that she was the one who's should have been protecting him, that it didn't happen, and you can tell that she's guilt ridden by, well, not really kind of doing what she should have done by protecting him, but although it was her
yeah.
fault. But
No, it's not her fault at all, but she feels that she's failed in her duty because she was chosen by him to protect her, to protect him. So
yeah, do you know, I was really surprised after they met and she gave him 8 hours. I was really surprised that Bucky then went back and told Zemo and Sam that he's just met Ao, and the Wakandans give you 8 hours, then we've got to hand it over. I was really surprised because I kind of thought that that would be like either a fight or flight with Zemo, that could send him off on his toes, you know?
yeah, I was surprised at that. You think he would have kept that close to his chest and had Zemo, excuse me, just play along with it like
Yeah,
he had been already. So yeah, that was quite a strange move by him.
yeah, I didn't expect it, and they kind of go on, and they talk about the bombing of the GRC building, which plays a massive into this, and especially with Sam, who kind of becomes divided. Bucky never really shows any kind of emotion or opinion with regards to the GRC and what they're doing, does he?
No, not at all. I think he just wants to stop the super soldiers here and sort of being out and about and stopping them. But yeah, he's got no. I don't think he's really got an allegiance, has he? He just wants to do what he thinks is right.
Yeah, that's right. And Zemo, it's always good because you learn so much more about Zemo and what he's about and what he doesn't like. And he talks about like kind of supremacies and that Carly and what she is, and the fact that she's got the super soldier serum that it makes her more powerful. And anyone who thinks they're better than anyone else is an enemy, and which is obviously why he wants to take her down. And the comment about when I mentioned Steve Rogers, well, he wasn't a threat. It's just great because, well, there'll never be another Steve Rogers,
Exactly.
which is, and it's nice that Zemo kind of admits that. It's almost as if he's openly admitting the good qualities that Rogers had that he didn't before, because obviously he was wanting to kill everyone, wasn't he? Really setting the Avengers against each other.
No, definitely, and he hates any super soldiers, doesn't he? He hates all that sort of stuff. But I think, like you say, he just, from obviously watching him and everything else, he realised that Steve Rogers wasn't changed by the serum whatsoever.
No.
He was full of just goodness, wasn't he? He was the epitome of a hero, and he can't even sort of say a bad word against him.
No, not at all. And they go to Latvia. I mean, you do get the bits about the kind of repatriation when they show Carly, but some bits, well, if you want to talk about them, when they talk about the violence that they're creating, I mean, it was a bit padded out with the flag smashers, but it's nice when they go to Latvia and find or try and find some information about Donya. What is it? Donya. Oh, I can't remember her name now. Donya Badani. That's it.
Yeah, Donya Badani.
And again, that I like what they're told when Sam goes in and speaks to that teacher, and you kind of get a clearer picture, because when we've spoken before, it's probably just me being a complete dumbass, but it was where they stand, like the repatriation council, and it kind of if they're good or bad, and if the flag smashers are good or bad, because at the start of it they were bad. That's the way they were painted. But for the teacher to say that when Sam says about the refugees, and he says we're internationally displaced people, that they've nothing to seek refuge from.
Yeah.
And that's when and Zemo obviously finds out where the funeral is when he grooms that young girl with some Turkish delight.
Turkish delight, I know. You think you'd do more than Turkish delight to get me to give up some information, that's for damn sure.
Would it now?
Yeah. Oh, rancid.
I have to say, my wife loves Turkish delight, honestly.
It's like Marmite, you either love it or you hate it, and I'm a hater.
I like proper Turkish delight when you get like the boxes with the powder in, and it's just really, really nice. But I don't like the shitty Turkish delight that they sell in this country with the chocolate on it. It's just rancid. But
Yeah.
We'll
No,
never
but
get
no, it
sponsored by Turkish.
was. Yeah, well, that's that gone. No. Oh dear. No, the
What
school,
really?
the thing in the building was really powerful, wasn't it? The chat between Sam and the teacher. It was just funny because
Yeah,
he's like, I know who you are, but I can't trust you. I've heard this
yeah,
before. And it just goes to show that, like you were saying about who's good, who's bad, they both feel the same way about each other, don't they? The GRC think that the flag smashers are bad, and the flag smashers feel exactly the same way. And because they're fighting to have somewhere to live and be part of the world again, it's just
yeah.
the issue is how they're going about it. The flag smashers. That's where the problems arise because of the fact that they've obviously now decided to kill innocent people, or Carly has, because I don't think anyone else really knew what she was planning that day.
No,
She's sort of going on her own a little bit, isn't she?
yeah. And I kind of, in a way, I'm now on the side of the flag smashers, to be honest, because afterwards when they sit around and they're chatting about what they've learned. I mean, Sam's obviously learned a hell of a lot, and he's wavering on the causes of what he's fighting against,
Yeah.
which I really like. And it kind of turns out, because I always thought that when people came back from the blip, they had nowhere to live, so they then lived in these camps. But it turns out, unless I've got this wrong, that when the blip happened, obviously the countries for some reason lacked a lot of skilled people, and so they got people in who were skilled from different countries. So when there were, as he explains, barbed wire borders that previously wouldn't let people in, they now let them in to build up their economy and keep the economy going. And soon as the blip happened and these people returned, all of those people who are now in that country, kind of established, making a good living and improve that country, were kicked out. And in fact, it's these people who are now displaced, not the people from the blip. That's what I understand.
I think that's kind of how it's happened, isn't it? It's really interesting. It's not explained, to us simpletons enough to really get to grip. But yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, which I think is interesting because the first few episodes, when obviously the only information we had was what we were allowed to know, was painting the flag smashers in a really bad picture that they're now they're killing innocent people, which they are, but their cause wasn't understood. But if that people have gone from over America, which explains why they're all different nationalities, and then they were kicked out and treated like shit, didn't have any food, didn't have any money, didn't have any homes, you can understand and sympathize with their cause, which it is a very difficult divide, isn't it, to what side of the fence you're on.
Yeah, I mean, you have to feel for them massively, and you feel for their plight and everything, and you want them to have what they deserve, which is a decent life. They've helped save the planet in a sense from what happened in the blip, but there's a line that you can't cross, and unfortunately, I think they have crossed that line, haven't they? In the sense that they've taken the serum, they've made them, is it 12 of them or something like that, and they've got another 20 vials to make even more, which they're sort of sitting on at the moment. But to go around killing that's terrorism at the end of the day, isn't it? You can't, to prove a point, you should never be able to just go around killing people to make a point. It's sort of, and that's where my side is. I sympathise with them, but I can't side with them because of that action.
Yeah, completely. It's really Carly who's the one who's fucked it all up for him, for want of a
Big
better
time.
word, isn't it?
She's gone out there and decided that this is what they needed to do without talking about it, and it's put them in a really bad place. And also good because it says in the news report that there's a lot of people now supporting them as well. So it's worked two ways.
Yeah. So from there, Sam calls Sharon Carter, which is always nice to see her back in it. But it's interesting to see that, like, when he speaks to her about, can you help out, find out where Carly is, and she's got access to satellites, and she's also got a bit of an army with her as well. So when she said that she was on the run, it doesn't paint that picture just by this viewing, does it?
No, I think you were right with your idea that she was the what's its face, and I've
the
forgotten
power
the name.
broker.
Yeah, the power broker. I think you might be on the money with that she might be it.
It'd be
Because,
it'd be
yeah,
interesting to see, because with all the twists that they do, it could be she's a power broker, it could be she's a double agent, she's deep
yeah.
undercover, as they do in Beverly Hills Cop. But the way it plays out is really going to be interesting, and it's just great fun that it keeps you guessing. I love that fact that it does that.
How on earth would she be able to
Marvel
have
do it so well.
access to satellites if she's on the run and stuff? There's more to it, like you say. She's either engrossed in it, like you say, as a double agent, or she is herself seconding. We don't know, do we? So it's going to be interesting to find out where she actually lies with
more
that.
to find out as well. Man, they're gonna pack it in. But Carly and Nico then get the super serum vials, which they've been hiding. And again, it's another interesting conversation, because Nico talks about his grandfather who fought the Nazis, and that Captain America was like a hero to him. And they speak about, which is so true, that it's in the days when there was good just fighting bad, and that the shield back then kind of meant something. And Carly says it's outdated. And to a certain degree, I really understand, again, the way it's so well written, that you've got the Avengers, and going back, it was good fighting bad, and they weren't fighting political agendas. No. And they said that Carly says that they won't get their hands messy, they are outdated, and to a certain degree she's right, isn't she? I think.
I think you're 100%.
Yeah, because where does it now leave the Avengers? It puts them in a dodgy place, doesn't it?
Well, that's the thing. You're either, if they start doing everything for the GRC, which is obviously what Walker's doing, then you're just working for a regime, aren't you? You're not working for the good of everyone. So yeah, it isn't just like it was Nazis versus the rest of the world. It is two different people with their own ideals, but they're trying to do it, especially the Flag Smashers, they're trying to do it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's really, really tricky, and it does make you think with regards to, you're going to get this, and then where does it leave afterwards? Where does this leave Sam and Bucky, with the rest of the Avengers? So, because Sam at the moment, I still think he's finding himself, and I'll get into what I was going to say at the end of it, because it kind of fits in with what Walker the Psycho does. But so they meet Hoskins, and Walker meet Hoskins. I can't even say Captain America.
He's not Captain America.
Yeah, and you can already tell that Walker is pumped, can't you? That he's pissed off. He's pumped up for a fight.
Yeah.
And again, I like the fact that it's Hoskins who grounds him. When Sam's like, let me meet Carly, let me speak to her, I can talk her down, this is what I do. Mm-hmm. And Walker's having none of it. It's Hoskins that says, no, it's worth a try. If it can avoid any violence, it's worth a try. And it's just a great side of Hoskins that can talk. He's the only one who can talk Walker down. No one else can when Walker wants to fight.
Yeah, he's so hot-headed now, isn't he? He's really, you can see he's really feeling the weight of that shield and uniform now. He wants to do everything. He wants to be Captain America. He isn't, but he wants to be, and he's just so full on. He just wants to get in there, smash heads, and arrest people, and save the day.
Yeah, and that's the way the comic book went.
Mm.
And that's it. And I think I can't remember his name now. The guy who is John Walker.
Wyatt Russell.
Doing it. Russell, that's it. He's doing it so well, and it's so believable, and he's doing it so well to the extent that in real life he's had death threats, which is ridiculous. Yeah,
that's insane. What is wrong with people? Crying out loud.
It's absolutely mental, isn't it?
It's a TV program. Just enjoy it for what it is. Dickheads.
That's it. Yeah. I know, it's insane. Steve Rogers wasn't a real life Captain America. This guy isn't a real life Captain America. He's being an asshole because that's what he's acted to do, and told to do, and he does it so well. It's a compliment, if anything.
Definitely,
but
it just shows that he's a good actor. Fucking idiots.
brilliant.
Come and death
And it's
threat me. Come on, I don't give a shit. I'll meet you.
just absolute nonsense.
Idiots.
But
Anyway.
yeah, it's just insane. So they go to meet Carly because they know where they're going to have like the wake. And Sam goes in there and speaks to her. And Walker again, they handcuff Zemo outside, but Walker again is like a fucking junkie. He's chomping at the bit, isn't he?
He's caged animal, isn't he? He just wants to go in there and arrest her, have a fight with them all, just prove who he is, because he's got this whole thing about super soldiers. He wants to prove himself because obviously the real Cap was a super soldier. But yeah, and you can tell he's like, you've got 10 minutes, and you know he's aching. You just know that he's not going to give him that time. He's just chomping at the bit.
Yeah, exactly. And the bond that's starting to build between Carly and Sam is kind of further cemented in a way where Sam really understands her cause, and he does support her cause. Now he fully understands it. That I think he's been sold the wrong message. That you could see if it is in a different circumstance, you could see these two working together, couldn't you?
Oh, definitely. And it's fun because he calls her out on a few things as well. Because she said, you know, I'd kill him again. Because he says about the fact that his friend or someone he knows, Zemo, has called her a supremacist and all this sort of stuff, and she disagrees, but then says she'll kill people to get what she wants. And she even shocks herself, doesn't she? Saying, no, that's not what I meant. It's, well, you said it, so you clearly meant it in a sense. And you did see this really good bond, but then what happens? It gets ruined.
Yeah, Sam makes a mistake. And he's there on his own, first of all, doesn't he?
Silly. He should have said, I've got 10 minutes. Yeah. Yeah,
that's it. And the hints are there so much, especially when Walker wants to get into the room and he says to Bucky, oh, you're standing there with that serum running through your veins. Just out of pure jealousy, isn't it?
Oh,
he wants it.
He wants to be Captain America, and he can't be the real Cap. We never could anyway, but he isn't a super soldier. He hasn't got that.
Yeah. So Walker walks in and does what he does best. He just ruins everything, doesn't he?
Such a tool. Such a tool.
So they kind of, I expected a massive fight at this time, and I was disappointed for only about 5 minutes. But it's interesting that Carly gets away, but she only gets as far as Zemo, who again, I'm pleased that there's no dialogue, there's no nonsense. He just shoots Carly in the chest, and gets the serum. She drops it all on the floor, and I was kind of, even though he always goes on that he's dead against the super soldiers and this serum being created, when it was on the floor and he was looking at it, a part of me thought he's gonna take it without telling anyone. He's gonna take it.
I did for a second. I did for a second. The way he sort of looked at it, and then he turned, didn't he? And you could just see the pure anger, and he just started smashing the vials and stamping on them and stuff like that. And he's so incensed that Carly manages to sort of escape, because one of her friends sort of comes in, and she just makes a run for it. Yeah,
and then you get Walker come in, who finds that vial.
Yeah.
And the look on his face is so good. It's so well acted. You don't need words. You know exactly what he's thinking.
Definitely. He's thinking, isn't he? He's like, oh my God, this is my chance. But he's still divided, isn't he? But he puts it in his pocket and you think, is he, isn't he? Yeah. But you're always I was on the side of, I reckon he will take it, especially as he was just really losing it. He's not the same bloke that put that uniform on those few episodes ago. He's completely changed. He's just, like I say, he's a cage animal. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He just wants to get in there.
Yeah, 100%. And you get then Carly talking about everything, which is again, which I'm not really interested in. It's a bit padded out. We know her calls. We know that they've lost us, but thankfully it does then go to the room with the three guys, with Zemo, Sam, and Bucky. And you get the idiots of bloody Laurel and Hardy, of Walker and Lamar, and they're trying, right, we're going to take Zemo, that's it. And thankfully, the Dora Milaje come in, who fuck, unbelievable. For me, they kick ass to
Oh, mate,
see what they can do
it's
is
just hilarious,
it's
isn't it? Because
yeah,
Sam goes, "Oh no, is it Sam or I can't remember?" It says you'd rather fight Bucky than them. You know,
yeah,
just and
that's
it
it.
proves to be right because they just kick everyone's ass, and it needs
Yeah.
for Sam and Bucky to sort of step in to stop them from killing both of them.
It's great with Bucky shouting out, "Are you doing really well there, John? Just keep going, mate. Keep going." And he's getting his ass. But it starts off with and I'm so pleased that Walker really gets his ass handed to him, because when AO walks in, he's so condescending, and he even puts his hand on her shoulder
Yeah,
as if like, "You're a chick, don't worry about it."
yeah,
And
patronising prick. Yeah,
it's so patronizing that he just doesn't understand. Even he's warned by Sam, like he just says, "Look, just take it easy." He says, "You want to fight Bucky before you tangle
yeah,
with the Dora Milaje."
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
he
he
don't.
says, yeah, and he says, "Oh, don't worry about it." And the fact he just puts his hand on AO's shoulder and she throws him and he gets his ass kicked. Even Lamar has got the sense to just stay away. And the only reason why he joins in is because his mates get his ass handed to him. But it's so well done. The using those spears, just crashing against the shield. It sounds brilliant, and spinning the shield around her neck, and just the choreography, and it's so good. It's so fast, and the fact
Oh,
that
mate.
Sam and Bucky just got their arms folded, just as if they're watching a like, boxing match or something. It's just
Yeah, so
great.
go on then, go on then. Go on, let's see what you
And
can actually do. And because they're not super soldiers either, they're just fucking double hard. They just know,
yeah,
it's they just are so well trained and have been, they're not part of an army. And
mm.
yeah, it's just fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it. But
The
obviously they have to interject because they are going about to murder them.
I think personally, I might have left it a bit longer before I interjected, because I think the chance of seeing Walker getting his ass handed to him was just too irresistible to stand
Oh,
there
wasn't
and
it
stop.
just when because they've obviously thrown that spear into the wall, when she kicks him backwards and he smashes into that metal spear, and I was just like, well done, love. Go on,
Yeah, and
teach
hearing
him a
like the
lesson.
vibranium was so good. As I say, like the
Yeah,
shield against the vibranium spears and stuff like
yeah,
that, and to see AO then just remove Bucky's arm
I know.
was so good, so unexpected, and it surprised me as much as it did Bucky. The look on
Oh,
his face.
big time. They obviously studied him, didn't they? When he was there with them and they obviously were helping him out, they really studied him to find out who he was, how he ticked, and how it all worked so that they could disarm him if he did go awry. So, but he had no clue. And it was a good touch. I like that a lot because it
Oh
just
yeah,
goes to show how thorough they are. They don't leave anything unturned.
no, I mean when Shuri obviously created that arm, she created a shortcut
Yeah,
um, for them to remove it, and it's interesting, and it really kind of fits in with the theme of this. That the first thing he says was they weren't even super soldiers, and they kicked
yeah.
my ass. And
Oh no, you can see on his face, can't you? He's just so pained. And
yeah,
Battlestar, as he likes to be called, Lamar, sort of picks him up and says it's all right, sort of thing. And he has to check himself, doesn't he? Because
yeah,
he's almost crying because he's just had his ass kicked
yeah.
and he just can't handle it. I was
No,
half
exactly.
hoping, I was half hoping that he would have, like, the vial would have been smashed during this. So when he,
Yeah,
like, maybe later on he went to take it and then he couldn't because it had been smashed. But
yeah. It was interesting because I thought the same thing. I thought either the vial was going to be smashed, or he decided not to take it, and they kind of smashed the vial into it, and he did take it.
yeah,
But I was pleased that it's his own decision, that
yeah,
because it kind of makes him the asshole that he's actually kind of played out to be, and
mm,
it fits in, because any excuse for him to take that serum that he can justify to himself, I think it's gone beyond that point now that fuck it, I'm just going to take it. I can't lose another fight.
That's the thing, because he talks to Lamar, doesn't he, in the sort of bar place, and he sort of asks him, would you take it? And he's like, of course I would. You know, Lamar's like, I'd have it all day long. And they talk about, you know, his 3 Medal of Honours, and you know, John sort of says about the fact that that was the worst day of his life, and they're just medals to remind him of that time. And they talk about how many lives they could have saved in Afghanistan if they had the super serum. And I think that kind of really just pushed him over the edge.
Yeah.
After losing that fight, and then he's having this conversation with Lamar, you know, I think he was still struggling, wasn't he, whether or not he was going to take it. And you don't know if he would, in a sense, but it's more and more ticking towards, I reckon he's going to take it.
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of hinted later on. But I mean, Carly calls Bucky's sister, Sam's sister, sorry, called Sarah. And again, the writing of this is so good. When they're talking about, I was going to kill your brother, I'm deciding whether or not I should do. And she talks about working with Captain America. And the fact that she says my world doesn't matter to America, so why should I care about its mascot, is so good. The meanings that you can take from, you can take it as it is, as in Captain America, or you can take it of another race thing that they've put in, that America doesn't care about me, which is proven at the bank earlier when they tried to get money to save a business. It's so well written, and it's just a great message, and it's so up to date with the times.
Yeah, it's powerful, isn't it? It really is powerful. It's like the big corporations don't care about me because I don't fit into their, you know, their box, if you like, and why would Captain America care about me? Because, you know, and all that sort of stuff. So it's poignant. I think the move from Carly is really out of order. It's clever, but it's bang out of order. It's just showing her true colours, isn't it? That she will threaten anyone, an innocent woman and children. He's threatening.
Do you think she would have killed them? As in Sarah and her family?
I don't know if she would, but the fact that she's even done it is low. You know, even to threaten to put that much fear into a mother and children in relation to something that it's got nothing to do with her whatsoever. You know, she wants to meet Sam, but to threaten a mum and kids for your cause just so you can meet someone is you know, there's low and then there's that kind of low, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's really low, the fact that she threatened them and the kids. I didn't know whether she was doing that as a point of view, as in testing the water, as in what's Sarah like, what's Sam really like? Is this a front to what he was talking to me, or is he this kind of decent person that he's being portrayed that he is? I mean, I really wasn't too sure.
She says enough. I think his sister says enough that, you know, to say, look, he doesn't fight for that. He, you know, he's not that type of person and everything. And, you know, why is she going to lie, in a sense, other than to protect her family? But it's, I don't know. I just think that she's so lost in her cause now, and the fact that she's in so much shit with everyone. She's trying to do anything she can, and, you know, I just didn't agree with it. It's very clever writing, the way they've done it. I just think it's really making me dislike her character even more.
Yeah, completely agree. And really, that kind of leads to like the finale in a way, where they meet Carly in this building, and it's Sam and Bucky at this time, that he's speaking to her about the threats of the sister. And then they're told about Sharon, that says that they're tracking Dickhead and other Dickhead, Walker and
Lamar and John.
So I go to that location, and it's quite interesting, because when Walker and Lamar are entering that building, and Lamar suddenly vanishes, and obviously we know why, but you could tell, for me, I thought that the biggest hint that he'd already taken that serum was the fact that Walker was walking around the building, and it was like, it's almost as if he could hear things that other people couldn't. I don't know if I was reading too much into that.
No, I reckon that as well, because he was almost standing there listening for things that you'd never be able to hear normally,
Yeah.
to see where to go. You know, even on the stairwell, he's there standing there, sort of just looking around, and Lamar's just gone. He's walked off, which is stupid. But he obviously has no idea that this is what his friend and has done.
No. I wonder if Lamar knew that Walker had taken his super serum
No,
by
I
then.
don't think so. I don't think he knew at all. I don't think he even knew he had a vial of it.
No.
I think he's kept it really close to his chest. And, you know, after that conversation, I think that's what probably swayed him. He went back to wherever they stayed and just did it. And this is what we get from it.
Yeah. And I also thought that when Walker throws his shield and it sticks in the wall at that soldier, then the soldier just vanishes. I didn't know whether that person was actually there or whether it was Walker's mind, because he's taken that serum, and it kind of exaggerates all of your senses and exaggerates the person that you are. So any hatred, obviously, it's going to exaggerate, and jealousy and things like that. But I kind of first of all thought, well, that guy wasn't there. It was all in his mind, because he throws the shield and then the guy's gone. But obviously then he turns up later
Reappears,
on.
doesn't he? Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think he's another super soldier, isn't he? So I think he sort of realised that, hang on, I'm not kicking his backside as much as I should be. So he sort of hides in the shadows and waiting to see what he's doing. But you can see when it's stuck in the wall that he's shrugging his shoulders and his body's clearly reacting to this serum. You know,
Yeah.
and you can see that all is, you know, everything's tightening up, and he's, you know, learning to deal with the changes.
Yeah, it's like he's on steroids. And I also
Yeah.
thought when when Hoskins was laying on the floor and you saw it dripping, I first of all thought that was petrol and he was going to set on fire.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought his number was up then. I obviously it is up pretty soon. But when Bucky enters the building, and for me, there's like a new level of love I've got for Bucky, that when he's fighting, like in this one, when he fights that guy on the stairs, he's so calm and confident, knowing that he's going to win. And
Yeah.
I love that about Bucky, and the fact that he kicked him through that wall and just said, "Just stay there."
Yeah, just brilliant. Yeah, just stay there, mate. It's all right.
Yeah,
You've had your ass
I
kicked.
just want to watch Bucky fight all the time. It's so good.
He's very good.
And
very, very good.
it's Lamar kind of frees himself with his knife, and then it flashes to Sam and Walker, and it's a really, really good fight. But even though more super soldiers come in, that Walker's still getting his ass kicked in a certain way, isn't he?
He is. I mean, he's clearly, you know, I mean, he's fighting that guy, isn't he, on the stairs originally, and then he bends the pipe around his hand, and that's when Sam realizes, what have you done?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, what have you done?
Yeah.
And then he goes, they've got Lamar. So they go off to try and find him, but oh dear.
It is a what the fuck moment, isn't it, when he bends that bar in Sam's face?
Like Sam's clearly going, oh shit, you know, he's already losing his shit, and you know, now he's potentially taken this serum, or he reckons he obviously knows he has, because you don't just bend an iron bar like that.
Yeah, but
insane.
And it's also when they have that fight, it's Lamar who comes back and saves Walker, who's about to get stabbed by Carly, and he gets in her way. And that's when she does his super soldier punch right in his chest and must destroy every organ in his chest, and he dies. And it's
instant.
I didn't expect him to die, but I know there's got to be something that turns Walker even more. But
I was quite sad, to be honest.
Yeah,
even though he's a massive dickhead.
Yeah.
He's a massive dick, but he means well in the sense of he wants to do his job and everything else like that. And I don't think Carly meant to kill him either. She was just lost in the moment of the fight and just punched him as hard as she could.
Yeah, definitely.
Accidentally, because she runs, doesn't she? As soon as she's killed him, she takes off her mask. She's like, "Shit, what have I done?" Sort of thing. And everyone's
that's too much.
Yeah, even though she's happy to blow up a building with innocent people in it. You know, it's interesting when you do it by your own hand, if you see what I mean. walking away and having a building blow up, you haven't actually seen the effects. But
Yeah.
physically killing someone the way she did, I think she scared herself.
Yeah, it was quite interesting, and it was a look of, oh my fucking god, I've really overstepped the mark now.
Yeah, yeah.
The rage and the understandable rage on with Walker, losing the plot, 'cause obviously he's a soldier and he's pumped up on these steroids, and every emotion is heightened times 10. And when he chases after Nico, and when he gets Nico, that I take it, obviously without seeing it, that he's cut his head off with that shield. That's what I take.
I think so. Yeah, because he's pleading, isn't it? It wasn't me. And then you just have this shot where he's just slamming his shield down into him, and you don't actually see it, but you see blood on Nico's hand, and you've got all these people filming it, and he has no clue because he's so in the zone, isn't he? He's just completely incensed that his mate has been killed, albeit by accident, but he was still killed, but he won't see it that way. And then he stands himself up, straightens himself, and puts the shield back on his arm, and it's covered in blood, and it's all being filmed, and Carly's in the crowd just looking on in sheer horror.
Yeah, the picture of him with that shield is like a poster picture. It's so iconic.
Isn't it?
With that blood all over that shield, and the look on his face, still of disgust. It's almost as if he's disgusted with the people watching and videoing this, not with what he's done.
No.
And it's like he's kind of disgusted, and then he's like, well, he deserved it. Like, I don't give a shit. There's no look of sorrow on his face or resentment about it at all. And it'll be interesting as well, because Sam and Bucky then run in and everyone's videoing it. Are they then going to link Sam and Bucky with this kind of murder, which is going to really damage them? And how are the American government, GRC, going to spin this into a positive? Are they then going to blame Sam and Bucky somehow? I can't wait to find out how they spin this, because
definitely
an execution, a murder. He's murdered someone. That's what he's done. And it's so powerful. It hasn't really happened in any film that I could think of where someone has been chased and murdered in front of everyone.
Not like that, no. Not when he's supposed to be the pillar of freedom, and you've got a man on his back pleading for his life, and he just gets killed with the most symbolic thing you could ever kill someone with. How they're going to be able to spin that, I have no idea. It's whether he's going to go into hiding or if he's just going to go on a massive rampage. Now he's got this serum in him. Who's going to stop him? There's so many things. It's just amazing. I literally ended this with my jaw on the floor. I just couldn't believe it. I literally could not believe that this is the way they've gone with it.
No, completely. I was really, really surprised. They've really taken it to an extreme that I didn't think they could reach so far, especially in episode 4. But the fallout of this is going to be interesting. What's Carly going to do in retribution? How is it going to be spun? And where is Walker going to go from this? To murder someone, being Captain America, wearing Captain America uniform in front of everyone is unbelievable. You'd expect in The Boys, but not in this, No,
definitely not. Oh yeah, in The Boys it's very different, isn't it? Because the heroes are the bad guys in a sense, and everything else like that. And but yeah, for everything that he stands for, or that uniform stands for, I should say, and that shield, that was made by Stark to given to Steve, and it's just there's so many things interlinked with it. I can't see how he's going to get away with it, but the government are going to have to, or the GRC are going to have to spin it some way and say it's all fake. I don't know what they're going to do. I literally have no clue where this is going to go, and it just makes it so exciting. I cannot wait for the next one.
100%. Well, that was episode 4, and a great. Where would you rate this on the episodes so far?
Oh, this is the best one so far, I think.
I think for me it was like the good bits, the interesting bits you wanted to know were brilliant, and it was in between a lot of waffle that I wasn't really interested in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think really hammering home the Flag Smashers sort of ideals, and they're really painting the picture of how Carly's sort of going on her own in a sense of her decision making, and it's good
Yeah.
that they're doing it. But yeah, I think they've done that now. They don't need to keep doing it. But yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that, like we were saying last week, how are they going to do this in just 6 episodes? And then they've just gone from literally 0 to a million
Yeah.
in that 57 minutes. It was just, well, not even the 57 minutes. That last 10 minutes was just mental, and it's blown it wide open.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, yeah, there's so many good bits. It's you can't nail them all down. I mean,
No.
the killing of Nico at the end was great, and the Dora Milaje was brilliant. It was so unexpected. I want more of that. I want them to fight the super soldiers. And more of them to come. They're so exciting to watch. They're brilliant.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Cannot wait,
bring
mate.
that on.
Cannot wait.
But that was episode 4. I hope everyone enjoyed that review. There's loads of other things that we've recorded. We're going through the Rush Hour series. We're then going to go on to the Terminator series. We've got over probably 130 different podcasts. If you go on iTunes or Android, you can find everything there. We've got the YouTube channel. All the podcasts we do will now post on the YouTube channel. I've been doing that for the last few weeks. And there's Cobra Kai, Mandalorian, One Division. There's so much. If you go on YouTube, type the Film Reelcast, same logo, and there'll be my ugly face there doing some podcast reviews.
Beautiful.
Oh, you're too kind. But thanks everyone for listening. We really enjoyed doing this. I can't wait for next week. Next week, I think we're going to hopefully have James back. Fingers crossed.
Ooh.
We're going to do Rush Hour, the original, because we've been doing it backwards.
We are.
Haven't we?
Yeah, because we are a bit backwards. So
Exactly.
we're doing it backwards. So yeah, I look forward to that one on Wednesday.
Not, if James can't make it, or if no one else can make it, we'll just pick a random film and we'll just review that anyway. So there will be something happening next week for sure.
Any suggestions, put it on our Twitter or Instagram or anything like that, and we can always pick out something that we like, or we'll make a decision ourselves. But
Yeah.
you know, we're always open to suggestions.
I'm gonna have to start a new Facebook channel because my Facebook account got hacked, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, someone changed everything, so I can't, even my security password, email address, that was changed as well. So I now can't recover anything. So I will start another one and start again. But we're on Twitter and Instagram, so never mind. But thanks everyone for listening. I really appreciate that, and thanks everyone who's downloaded the podcast as well, because the figures have been out of this world. So thanks very much. Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye.